So, Marvel just announced for their highly anticipated Fantastic Four movie, the character of the Silver Surfer will be played by Julia Gardner. And within seconds, the internet was on fire. Now, I know I'm a nobody YouTuber, but I have some thoughts on this whole fiasco. This will probably be a quick one, so there may be another video about it, and again, who knows? We'll see how this one does. All I know is this is such an entertaining topic to talk about, and I want to talk about it with you. So first, if you know nothing about the Marvel Universe, superhero movies, comic books, pop culture, and the rest of the modern internet dialogue, then I welcome you, time traveler, aliens from another world, and interdimensional beings who have traveled to this realm, watching this video to learn about humans in the year 2024. If you are not of that category and you still know nothing of the content of this video, thanks for watching. It means a lot. Now, let's get into the main meat of the situation. To give a quick background into the anticipation that fans have, the Fantastic Four is probably the most desired group of superhero characters and villains from the community of Marvel that they want to see on the big screen, rivaled only by the X-Men, ever since Disney bought Fox for $4.1 billion. Since that day, every time they've come out with a new Marvel film or a Marvel TV show, you immediately see online so many theories of this is how they're going to bring in the X-Men. This is where they're going to show this character from the Fantastic Four. This is going to lead into this. This is going to lead into that. Clearly showing you how much people desire to see these characters on the big screen, or at the very least in a TV show in this universe, connecting the whole thing, making it feel like it's the Marvel comics brought to the real world instead of just movies loosely based on specific characters. However, there is a slight difference between people's desire to see the X-Men and people's desire to see Fantastic Four. And that is, the X-Men actually already have some good movies. Like, we have Logan, which is one of the best comic book films of all time. And if you say it's not, I don't know why you would. That just blows my mind. I talk about it in the comments if you hate Logan. Tell me if you hate Logan. Just tell me why in the comments, please. I beg you. I need to know. Fantastic Four, on the other hand, they don't really have anything that's considered a good film. They have the one from the 90s that people are like, yeah, that's pretty accurate to the Fantastic Four, but it's a little too cheesy because it was pre-2000s where comic book movies and TV shows were very campy and silly for the most part. And then there was early 2000s. They had two movies. The first one people liked, but still thought wasn't that great. And then the sequel people really did not like. And then like 10 years later, we got one of the dumbest comic book movies with fan four stick. Outside of just wanting to see the Fantastic Four, they want to see their group of other side characters. Like Doctor Doom, their greatest villain. One of the greatest villains in Marvel Comics ever to date. They want to see Galactus, one of the most powerful characters in the Marvel Universe. And to show that character, they also want to show the Silver Surfer. People really want to see the Silver Surfer brought to life, and not like the version we got 15 years ago that's not so great. However, you might notice one slight difference is the original Silver Surfer is a guy, and the new version is played by a gal. So what we're here to discuss is Julia Gardner playing the Silver Surfer, and what I think about it. Now, I know I'm a nothing YouTuber. I know my opinion don't really matter on the grand scheme of things, but I just had these thoughts and I just wanted to put it out there because, one, I need to make more content, and this was content that I was actually interested in. And two, I saw some really ridiculous arguments as to why people aren't allowed to be upset or unhappy with this decision, and I think that's just really ridiculous. Like, yes, there are bad actors online who say certain things, and their opinions should probably be ignored. But just if you say, hey, I'm not happy with this, or I don't like this decision, and I think it's a bad idea, and you just are told you're not allowed to say that because the reasons we'll get into, I don't think that's fair. Because if these people aren't allowed to have these opinions, then you're not allowed to have opinions like these in the future. And I think that's a really bad decision to go down. But we'll get into it. Before we do, I do want to say I have no ill will towards Julia Gardner. I also have no positive will towards her because I've seen none of the films on her filmography and IMDb. ADHD dyslexia here. Mixing letters up. Anyways, so I really have no opinions on her acting skills or her acting career as a whole. She exists. She's an actor. I hope she's good. because she's going to play the role whatever I say. So I hope she's good. And to lead on to that point, I hope this movie is good. Whatever I say for the rest of this video, just remember, I don't want this movie to be bad. I don't want it to fail. I don't want to pay $17 to sit down in a chair and be miserable. Trust me, I have seen films that have made me miserable or made me want to just blow my brains out because they were terrible. All right? I don't want this to be one of those films. Nobody wants to go into the theater and just be sitting there like, I hate this film. It's so fucking bad. Or just like falling asleep. So, like I said, I don't really have any opinions against Julia Gardner. I want this film to be good. I want her acting to be good. I want to be able to enjoy myself. And again, these are my opinions. You don't have to like them. You don't have to agree with them. And it's not going to matter. It's not going to change the film no matter what I think. They're not going to be like, oh, well, this guy on YouTube said it was a bad idea, so we're not going to do it. Or it's a good idea, so we're definitely going to double down on it. Like, who cares what I say? Just watch this video for fun, I guess. I just really wanted to address what I think and the weird arguments I see online that I disagree with. With all that out of the way, I think this is a bad idea. All right, pack it up. We're done here. Moving everything out. We're done. We're done with the video, guys. But you're still here? I guess I'll explain my position. Like I said, people desperately want a Fantastic Four movie. And not just any Fantastic Four movie. The first Fantastic Four movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And the first good Fantastic Four movie, at least of the modern day. That's what they really want. They want the huge, amazing movie like the first Iron Man was. They desire, they crave for an Iron Man version of Fantastic Four. Something just amazing that is timeless that people will look back on and still say, you know, it's pretty dang good. And so going into this movie with issues that people don't like an important part of the fan base won't be happy with, I don't think is a good idea as a movie making strategy, because you're already going to make people unhappy with the whole idea of this movie with just this one decision. And Disney really should not be doing this. They should be trying to get as many fans in as possible, because right now, a lot of people are either apathetic to Disney projects or outright antagonistic to most of them. Like, Disney has not been doing well with all of the remakes they've made, with a lot of their big animated films just being shoved on Disney Plus, Marvel feeling kind of stale for a lot of people recently, people being disenfranchised with a lot of Star Wars projects, at least the big movies. You want to try and go with as many wins as possible, so going in with angry fans doesn't sound like a good idea to me. Maybe that's just me. Maybe they have some genius, super mega, they saw into the future. This will make the whole fan base just come back. Maybe, I don't know. But just from my perspective, it just doesn't seem like a very good idea. Now, I know, yes, controversy like this does create headlines and it gets people to talk about it more. And so maybe that brings it a lot more ticket sales than I realize. But I don't think it does. Because I know there's a lot of controversy around their remake of Snow White, and I don't know anybody who wants to go see that in theaters. Like, I know it's been delayed, but it's just, it doesn't seem like a good business idea. Let's just say that. Now let's get into the more emotional arguments people make about this whole idea. First, let's address the really hot button topic of sexism. Yes, there are people online who are sexist, and they will just hate this film because woman playing character. And that is their whole reason, and those people are dumb. Those people are also a small minority of the people complaining. Just like how the people who don't like superhero films and think they're all bad is a small minority. So let's not use that group and say, oh, this is just all the people's opinions are the same as this. Because there are a few good explanations I can bring up now as to why you would be unhappy with this decision. For instance, maybe the Silver Surfer is one of your favorite characters, and this version that they're doing is not the version of the Silver Surfer you like. That could make you really upset. There are two versions of Spider-Man, and you might like one more than the other. There are actually hundreds of versions, and quite a few of them are not that popular. There's like 2 or 3 that are really popular, and the rest are known by people. And if you call someone sexist just because they say, oh, I'm not happy with this decision, or I don't think it's a good decision, then you're an idiot. I'm sorry. But that's not being sexist. We're not saying anything against Julia Gardner or female actors. Again, if you said something dumb like, she can't play the character of Silver Surfer because she's a woman, then yes, you'd be a sexist. And again, that's dumb because I'm sure anybody with competent acting skills, male or female, can do the role of the Silver Surfer justice. The argument isn't that she can't do it because she's a woman, but because this is not the character that they wanted to see on the big screen. And is that so wrong? I don't think so. The next argument I see as why people can't complain about it is, well, she's a character from the comics. Therefore, there's no problem here. And I think that's a dumb, terrible argument. You know why? Because of all the other things that were from the comics, like Peter Parker selling his marriage to the devil in One More Day, the Spider-Man clone saga, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, who are twins, by the way, having sex while Wolverine watches them when he thinks he's their father. The Phoenix Egg and Cyclops just showing up and having it. There's no explanation of why it exists. It just does. Or maybe Carol Danvers being hypnotized to give birth to her future force upon her sexual relations person. And then the Avengers not being worried about that. Just okay with it. Like, these are all things that happen in the comics. And if they put them in the movies today, I'd say that's a dumb idea. Those are all dumb ideas. Do not do that. But by the argument of, it was in the comics, so it's okay, these are all good ideas, right? We can totally put them in the movies, right? Wrong. And you already know that's a bad idea. Like, they are really, really terrible moments in the comics that I hope never, ever, 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 ever make it to the big or small screen. I would love to forget them. I would love to erase them from my memory, but I cannot. So stupid. And the third argument I see that I think is a really kind of shallow argument is, well, this is just the movie they want to make, so you can't complain about it. Just wait for it to come out, and if it sucks, it sucks. No. You know who else made a movie they just wanted to make? George Lucas. Yeah, the first three, the original trilogy of Star Wars was amazing, but he had help. He had people telling him, like, hey, maybe we rein this in. He had someone else directing it. Then, when he made the prequels, he did it all himself. He wrote it. He directed it. I don't know if he edited it, but he was involved in the editing, I'm pretty sure, as a director. And we all said those movies are really bad. Really, really bad. So just because this is the story someone wants to tell, that's not really a good argument. And if we're going to use that argument for when people say we're not happy with a decision in a future film, then you can't complain about any bad movie because that was just the movie the person wanted to make. It doesn't matter if it's good or if it's just got some issues here or there, right? And it also means you can't say anything positive about a movie because it's not the movie you want to make. Just like they can't say anything negative, you can't say anything positive because you're not involved. You can't praise them for the job they're doing. You just have to sit there and wait for it, and then you can complain about the film. I don't think that's a good idea. And then let's say it was a good line of logic to say that you just can't say negative stuff. You can only say positive stuff, right? That means movies like Spider-Man Lotus can only be praised because that movie was the movie the director wanted to make. It is like such a bad movie, and he's not a good person based on all the stuff I've learned. So let's not use the argument of because this is the movie they want to make, you can't complain about it. To give another analogy, let's say it's your birthday and you want a cake. So you go to the baker and you buy a cake. And the baker asks you, what's your favorite flavor of cake? And you tell him chocolate. You want a chocolate cake. Well, your birthday comes around. The baker shows up. And what does he have? A strawberry cake. And then you now don't have the cake you wanted. You wanted chocolate. You paid him money for a chocolate cake. And he said, no, I'm making a strawberry cake. And you can't complain because A, this was one of the cakes in his cookbook. Because it was in his cookbook, he should do it. And B, this was the cake he wanted to make. Not what you wanted, what he wanted. And because he wanted to make it, you can't complain. Would you just sit there and be like, yeah, that's totally fine? Or would you say, no, go make a chocolate cake? I think I know which answer we would all go with. And those of you who are trying to say you'd go with the first answer, haha, very funny. I get it. Congratulations to the comments of the internet section. And thank you for the engagement, I guess. Now, I know it's slightly different. I'm not exactly the one paying money to make this film. But when I go to the theater, I have to give them my money to get the ticket. So in a sense, I am kind of paying for it. That's how they make their money, after all, is through all the ticket sales. So shouldn't they want me, who wants to give them money, to actually want to give them money? Again, I just think these arguments are bad arguments. I really hope this is a good movie. I didn't even see The Marvels because it looked so terrible. And then I heard all the reviews about it, and it seemed really, really bad. I didn't see Madam Web for the same reason. I didn't see the second Venom for the same reason. I didn't see Morbius for the same reason. I really want to see some enjoyable films like Godzilla x Kong. That was fun. I enjoyed that. If you guys do stuff like that, that's fun, that people enjoy. And if this movie is fun and people enjoy it, I will definitely go see it. And I hope it is. And I hope Julia Gardner has a better chance. And I hope this will be the first movie of hers that she has done that I will ever see. And maybe she'll surprise me and she'll be the best version of the Silver Surfer ever. However, whatever ends up happening, I'm just glad you guys watched this video and listened to my rant and my discussion and my complaints about this whole topic. Either way, thank you so much. It means a lot. If you could just tap that like button, maybe click subscribe, whatever fits your fancy. And remember, don't believe in yourself. Believe in me, who believes in you. Bye-bye.